When I think of geothermal power, I think of countries like, of course, Iceland and Japan and New Zealand, where I mean that's what you're referring to as primary geothermal power. And Alberta doesn't have that. So briefly explain what a secondary geothermal power is.
Yeah, I think at the policy convention, the party agreed to take a geothermal mapping strategy. And I think that's important. Certainly at the conference that I attended in Calgary, it was brought out, it's a well-known fact, that you're right, we're not sitting on the ring of fire that allows us that opportunity to access those primary geothermal targets. But deep down, a mile, 2 miles down, we definitely do have heated water. I know that for a fact because I've been splashed with the heated water out our wellhead, which our 3 of 8 well just west of town here. There's hot water coming out. We're a mile deep. And so I do know that definitely that may not be powering massive transmission line, but there is ways of harnessing the energy from that water that's deep within those reservoirs and be able to turn it into energy that we can use. And again, like I say, this is a tremendous asset that goes hand in hand with a well-developed industry that we already have, which is oil and gas.
And the other part of that you mentioned to me earlier, Chris, is about the recapture of the water and the reuse of the water, which is huge, not least of all to our agricultural community.
Right, absolutely. And there's another way of, if you want to call hydroelectric power, in a sense, we have massive amounts of water that are being wasted in this province. The process of bureaucracy involved in getting a water disposal well is massive. But for a junior company such as ourselves at Sandbox, this is an enormous expense that cuts into our profits. And what are we doing? We're dumping it in a hole. Often that water comes out of the ground, heated, because it's coming from so far below. And then we dump it. We put it in a tank and dump it. We have the ability to take that water and turn it into a use. We could be running hydroelectric power in some areas off of the massive amounts of water. The government needs to be taking an active role in this, and this is why I think long-term capital infrastructure, if we have regional depositories for industrial wastewater, first of all, we can be using that to take into account all of our crops, all of the water needs that we have, helping farmers when there is issues of water shortage. But more importantly, we could be taking that water and using it to run turbines, using it to create power. And there's a chance of, again, we need, it's not us against them, it has to be a partnership. The energy industry has to work in partnership with the rest of Alberta, and I think these are just innovative. We have the technology. It's not something we need to even discuss more or more R&D money. We already know what to do with this. And I think the energy industry is willing to be part of the solution, but we need to sit down and have the dialogue, and that's what needs to be done.
Well, I mean, Edwin and I have had that conversation. That's one of the reasons where we weren't the deep greens, because of that. I think we agreed a long time ago that the energy sector has tremendous understanding of these issues, and they're not dumb. They don't want to keep polluting. They know that this is a resource that's finite, and they have to take that next step. They just need a partner to do it. I think that's one reason that Edwin and I we're always sort of not accepted as the deeper green with that. It's more of a pragmatic approach to it.
Again, though, this is so critical. This is what the new Alberta needs to look like. It can't continue, with this attitude of, again, it's the Greens versus the industry. This is not a relationship that is workable long term, and all that sets up is a codependency, and that works very well for politics. A codependent relationship between environment and between energy is very good for headlines, and it's very good for politicking. People are sick and tired of being politicked in Alberta. They want to be governed. And part of governing is to take industry, to take environment, to sit down at the table and begin to look for solutions to work together.